A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News here on TV1, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst team, I am Ruaz Irfan. And before we move on with our bulletin, here's a look at your headlines for this evening.
SLPP and UNP join hands at President's office to contest local government elections together.
රයින්ලික්කමසිංහ මහත්තයව රටේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා කරන්න අපිට ඡන්ද දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපිට යාලත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න තියෙන මොකක්ද තියෙන බාධා?
SLPP places bonds for a series of local government bodies. Opposition alleges government is trying to delay the election. Cabinet approves electricity tariff hike with effect from 1st January.
මේක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න පුළුවන් නිසා තමයි කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලය තීරණය කළා තියෙන්නේ ජනවාරි 1 වෙනිදා ඉඳන් විදුලි ගාස්තු වැඩි කරනවා.
ගන්න තීරණය රටේ තියෙන ඒ නීතියට පටහැනි නම් ඒකේ ගලංගු භාගයක් නැහැ. මොකද පනත කියන්නේ රටේ නීතිය.
Trade unions protest against electricity tariff and interest rate hike. Rice fields turn yellow across multiple districts. Officials race to prevent the spread.
Will elections be held before the 10th of March 2023? 60 days more.
Starting with your top story this evening, the United National Party and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna have decided to contest together the upcoming local government election. Both sides met for talks on Tuesday morning at the President's office.
The UNP and SLPP met at the President's office to discuss the formation of an alliance to contest the local government election as well as to contest under one symbol, among other matters. Organisers from 5 selected districts were invited for the meeting, in addition to the delegations from the United National Party and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
No, there are many parties that have aligned themselves with the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. United National Party is one other party. If we can vote to make Ranil Wickremesinghe the president of the country, there is no issue in working together.
රයින්ලික්කමසිංහ මහත්තයව රටේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා කරන්න අපිට ඡන්ද දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපිට යාලත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න තියෙන මොකක්ද තියෙන බාධා? එහෙම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොජ්ජන එක්සත් පෙරමුණත් එක්සත් ජාතික.
At the previous meeting, we reached a decision to contest the local government election together. The district leaders were summoned here today to discuss the matter. We discussed on which local government institutions should we contest under the symbol of the elephant, the lotus bud and the common symbol. We also discussed on the number of candidates. We reached decisions on 5 districts and we are yet to reach a decision on the common symbol. We agreed to use a common symbol when required. We met with the delegates from the Kandy, Kurunegala, Puttlam, Kalutara and Ratnapura districts. We have reached certain agreements on those matters, especially to use the United National Party symbol for the Kandy and Colombo municipal councils and the Puttlam urban council.
නගර සභාව කොළඹ මහනගර සභාව පුත්තලම නගර සභාව එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ ලාංඡනය යටතේ ඉල්ලන්න
සංධානගත වෙන්නේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ පොදුජන පෙරමුණ විතරයි.
නෑ පොදුජන පෙරමුණත්
No, there are 13 other parties with the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. The UNP has 54 parties and organizations. The UNP seniors are in talks with 54 other groups. We have reached an agreement with them as well.
ඒ සියලු දෙනාත් එකඟතාවයකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා එකට වැඩ කටයුතු කරන්න.
The lawyers of the Aragalaya have questioned how alliances are formed at the President's office when the President himself said he would not get involved in the election.
When the elections were announced, Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he would not get involved with the local government election. However, today the elderly parliamentarians from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and the Rogues met at the President's office and formed an alliance to contest the local government elections together. They are trying to deceive the people.
මාලිගා කුමන්ත්‍රණ කරනවා එළඹෙන පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණයේදී සංධානගත වෙලා කොහොමද මේ රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ව රවට්ටලා තවත් මේ රට අමාරුවෙන් අමාරුවට දාන්නේ කියන කාරණාව ජනාධිපති රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ
If President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he will not interfere with the elections, then the meeting should be held in Sirikotha or Nelum Mawatha. Why was it held at the President's office? The President's office is the office of the President of the country and not that of the leader of the United National Party.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහගේ ලේකම් කාර්යාලය නෙමෙයි.
Although the UNP and the SLPP have decided to contest together the local government election, SLPP General Secretary Attorney Sagar Karyavasam said that the policies do not completely match with each other.
Our policies do not match 100% at some places. However, as a party, our decision was to protect democracy in a country. We joined with the UNP for that purpose. As a party, we were able to defeat the conspiracy that was afoot to destroy democracy in the country.
The SLPP General Secretary made these comments while placing bonds for the party candidates who would contest the local government election from the Polonnaruwa district. The candidates were extended a warm welcome by their supporters after the bonds were placed. The SLPP also placed bonds for 19 local government institutions in the Anuradhapura district.
Our party has great leaders. Under the leadership of Mahinda Rajapaksa and our founder Basil Rajapaksa is engaged in planning the election operations.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna also placed bonds for 13 local government institutions in the Trincomalee district.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe and our leaders have come together to solve the economic crisis. We hope to face this election successfully.
Minister Mohan De Silva graced the occasion to sign the SLPP nominations for the Galle district. The National People's Power placed bonds to contest the local government election from the Kurunegala district.
Just as we fired the first cannon from the cooperative in the Kurunegala district, we will win the local government elections. The people of Kurunegala are already with us.
The media division of the United National Party in a statement on Tuesday evening said that the UNP is engaged in discussions with political parties, factions and groups that support the government with regard to the upcoming local government election. It added that several rounds of discussions took place recently among the UNP members and the representatives from other parties, and among them is the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. The statement said that the UNP is expected to engage in talks with other parties and groups in the near future. It added that the UNP chairman Vajira Abewardena, UNP deputy leader Ruwan Wijewardena, UNP general secretary Palitharangi Bandara and UNP executive director represented the party at these discussions. It added that the talks are yet to reach the final stages, and when the discussions are over, the manner in which the UNP will contest the local government election will be announced officially.
Government and opposition politicians commented on the local government election.
The government never wanted to go for an election. We can see it now. We do not see any support from the government's political authority for the election. If the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna is with the people, they should call for an election. So they go and place bonds for nominations. But at the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna head office, they tell the media that it is not the time for an election.
Minister Susil Premajayantha said that this is not the time for elections.
My view is that elections must be held on time. However, the practical implementations may vary. For example, when nominations for the parliamentary elections were called, the Supreme Court issued an order to delay it due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That was the requirement at the time. The decision must be made by the respective officials. Local government elections are the village elections. They won't change the national policy. The elections will be delayed. That is why they keep repeating that they are short of funds. Ranjit Triambalapitiya said that elections can be placed by printing more money and they would not be done. Indeed, we do not have enough funds. However, if they are trying to move ahead by crushing the people, that is simply calling for another Aragalaya.
Minister Bandara Gunawardena says that the economic situation will not ease by not holding elections.
The government position is this. If the election commission has decided to call for an election, we need to be prepared for it. This election will not be connected to easing the economic situation. This election system is a costly affair. Democracy is a costly affair. We need to pay price for that. For a government that spends 3,000 billion a month, 10 billion rupees is nothing. The expenditure from the budget is more than 600 billion. This is a ploy by the government. This is a government campaign. The government is preparing for another charade using the election. They are trying to delay the election. Government sleuths have informed them that the Samagi Janabala Vegaya will secure a resounding victory. They do not speak of the Rajapaksas who looted the country. There is no talk about democracy as well.
හොරකම් කරපු රාජපක්ෂලා ගැන කතා නැහැ දැන්. ඒව අඩු වෙලා ගිහිල්ලා. ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය ගැන කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ.
A group of councillors representing the Colombo Municipal Council met opposition leader Sajith Premadasa at opposition leader's office today. The group have assured to work together with the Samagi Janabala Vegaya and to work towards the victory of Samagi Janabala Vegaya at the upcoming local government elections.
A letter claiming to contain an order made to all district secretaries notifying them to refrain from accepting bonds for the local government elections is currently making its rounds on social media. The circular contains a signature of the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration and Home Affairs. Ministry Secretary Neil Bandara Hapuhina noted that the cabinet that met on Monday the 9th had instructed him to order all district secretaries to refrain from accepting the bonds from candidates until further notice. However, the Commissioner General of Elections had ordered all district returning officers to continue to accept the bonds by the candidates, noting that as per the powers vested with the Election Commission via the Local Authorities Elections Amendment Act, returning officers have been appointed for the respective districts. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa responded to this matter.
We are informed that the Cabinet has decided to refrain from accepting the bonds from candidates until further notice. The Cabinet had reached this decision and issued the order to all district secretaries. We are not surprised about this. Over a period of time, a drama is at play. A great national conspiracy is afoot to gradually delay this election. What we see is a result of this. We demand this spineless government to immediately call for the election. You have no right to flout the mandate of the people.
ඔබට කිසිම අයිතියක් නැහැ මේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ ජනතා පරමාධිපත්‍ය කෙලස.
මේ රනිල් රාජපක්ෂ ආණ්ඩුව
This is another shameless attempt by the Ranil Rajapaksa government to postpone the elections. If there is a conflict or crisis in the Election Commission, the Commission itself should resolve it. The Cabinet does not hold the power to order to refrain from accepting bonds for the local government poll. Ministry Secretary Neil Bandara Hapuhinna, quoting the Cabinet decisions, had instructed to order all the district secretaries to refrain from accepting the bonds from candidates until further notice. The Cabinet has no power to do this.
Will elections be held before the 10th of March 2023? 60 days more.
Cabinet spokesperson Minister Bandulu Gunawardena told reporters that the President had informed the Cabinet that the Treasury is facing a serious financial crisis. Speaking at the weekly Cabinet briefing, the Minister said that the government is already finding it difficult to pay the state sector salaries for January and February.
The President informed the Cabinet that the Treasury will face a more serious financial crisis than what was anticipated in 2023. The main reason for this was the economy shrank in 2022. The tax revenue dropped at the beginning of this year. Therefore, the tax revenue from January to March will drop. However, mandatory expenses will have to be borne, such as salaries, pensions, debt settlements and other daily expenses. However, the Treasury does not have the necessary funds. There is no stable income even to support the essential welfare expenses. Therefore, the Cabinet was informed that all ministry allocations from the budget will be cut down by 5%. Due to the issue in paying the salaries for January, the Samudri allowance provisions is likely to be delayed by a week or two. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe says that there should be no undue fear regarding the payment of government employees' salaries or welfare benefits, including the Samudri allowance. In a statement, the State Minister of Finance stated that priority will be given to government employees' salaries, pensions and welfare benefits in the management of government revenue and expenditure. The State Finance Minister further indicated that a plan to settle the bills due to the government for certain projects is currently under discussion with the relevant ministries.
Pensioners across Sri Lanka were severely inconvenienced on Tuesday morning as their pensions were not deposited to their respective bank accounts until late in the afternoon. This was the situation in Gampaha.
පෙන්ෂන් එකක් ගන්න හදන්නේ කාලා කන්නේ ඇත්ත. විතර බින්ජනාදිපති අපේ පෙන්ෂන් එකක් කෙලිය.
කියන්නේ මේ අරගෙන යන්න ආවේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ මේ අරගෙන ජීවත් වෙන්නේ ඒක.
පෙන්ෂන් ගන්න ඇවිල්ලා. දැන් පෙන්ෂන් එන්නේ බරක් වෙලාලු. සල්ලි මදි වෙලා මං කිව්වා කමන්නේ ආවේ මං ගිහින් දාන්නම් කියලා. මම ඉඳලා පැතිල්ලා නියම දෙනවා නේ වැඩේ.
මුන්ට නම් සාපේන ඇත්තට කඳුළු එනවා ඇත්තටම. රටට වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන අපි මෙහෙම හිතලා නෙමෙයි රටක් ඇදුවේ.
Pension payments were delayed across Galle and many pensioners were severely inconvenienced.
පෙන්ෂන් එක ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ බැංකුවට තාම. අපිට බෙහෙත් ගන්න තියෙනවා. ණය ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා කඩවල් වලට.
බලන්න මේ කරන අපරාධයක් අපිට.
ඔක්කොම මිනිස්සු විනාසයි.
මේ මම වුණත් දැන් මේ ලේ එක බලන්න දීලා චෙක් කරන් දීලා ආවේ. ආපහු එනකම සල්ලි දෙන්න. 1000 ගාණක් දෙන්න ඕන. ඉතින් මොකද අපි කරන්නේ කාටද දොස් කියන්නේ?
Pension payments were delayed across Mathura as well.
Even though the government claims that the Treasury is facing severe financial crisis, a decision has been reached to import eggs from abroad. The collective of organizations for the protection of poultry farmers questioned if the government claims it cannot fund an election, how does it have the dollar funds to require to import eggs?
If they hold the elections, the country will run out of fuel. They won't have money to feed the people. Everything will collapse. That's what the government claims. But the same government has dollars to import eggs. If the cost of production is reduced, you can start selling an egg at a low price in 2 weeks.
The small and medium-scale traders too expressed their views on the matter.
What will happen to us if they start importing eggs? We are urging the government to stop importing of eggs. We need to feed the hens. By April, we will have enough egg produce.
Director General of the Department of Animal Production and Health, Dr. Hemali Kotalavala says that it is not possible to import eggs from neighbouring India due to bird flu.
Every newspaper article states that the eggs will be imported from India, but at this time bird flu is spreading in many states of India. Bird flu is not seen in Sri Lanka, so the Department of Animal Production and Health cannot recommend importing eggs from India.
නිර්දේශ කරන්න බෑ අනයන අපනයන control general වලට.
Sri Lanka's Cabinet of Ministers approved the electricity tariff hike for 2023. Cabinet spokesperson Minister Bandulu Gunawardena said the Public Utilities Commission was given time until the 15th of February to review the tariff amendments and submit its proposals.
The President and the Cabinet approved the implementation of the electricity tariff revision. However, if the PUCSL has a more relief-based recommendation, that too will be considered. The tariff hike is in effect from the 1st of January 2023. And if the PUCSL can make recommendations for relief, they can even be given time to make the submissions until the 15th of February.
මහජන උපයෝගිතා කොමිසම අභිබවා කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයට තීරණ තීන්දුව ගත හැකිද ඇමතුමා?
This decision was taken up because it can be implemented. We will increase the tariff with effect from the 1st of January, even if we don't like it.
Can the electricity tariff be amended without approval from the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka?
The proposal was made available by the Ceylon Electricity Board yesterday. We will be looking at a cost effect and just process. The CEB wants to implement this tariff revision as an interim measure from the 1st of January 2023. There is no way to amend the tariff to meet the past. In addition, there is no interim tariff revision as well. It is not possible as per the Act. If the Cabinet decision is in violation of the law, that decision will not be valid. The PUCSL Act is the law.
Former Power Energy Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka says the Cabinet has no power to amend the electricity tariff.
ලංකා විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයට හෝ විදුලි බල හා බලශක්ති අමාත්‍යාංශයට හෝ
The Ceylon Electricity Board, the Ministry of Power and Energy and the Cabinet have no power to increase the electric tariff. They have no power to amend the tariff to meet the past. The power to do so lies completely with the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. Electricity tariff can only be increased after the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka obtains the view of the public and consults the relevant industries and other stakeholders. Therefore, this particular tariff hike is unconstitutional and is against the law.
ව්‍යවස්ථාවටත් විරුද්ධයි නීතියට සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම පටහැනි ක්‍රියාවක් බව කියන්න ඕනේ.
The CEB trade unions protested at multiple locations on Tuesday against the electricity tariff hike. The CEB Joint Trade Union Alliance organized this silent protest opposite the CEB head office.
The rulers are stating that they will increase the tariff, and therefore it's up to the people to survive if they can or die. We urge the Ranil Rajapaksa government to leave. You have burdened the people. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara belongs to the neonatal care unit. He is immature. He will not be able to increase the tariff in January and save himself.
The CEB Joint Trade Union Alliance also protested in Gaul and Matara against the electricity tariff hike.
The Sri Lanka United National Business Alliance warned that the electricity tariff hike would put industries and businesses at risk.
How can we operate any business if the electricity tariff is increased? Will we be able to even operate a hospital? Electricity is essential for everything. You survive on the taxes we pay. You will not have an issue because you don't have to run a business or maintain a family. The issues have severely affected the backbone of this country, the business community, as well as the people who cast their vote for you. So you don't have any issues taking any decision as you please and dragging the country towards destruction. Is this fair?
අන්දෙන් පත්තලා ඇවිල්ලා බලය ලැබිලා පුටුවක වාඩි වෙලා Tamanට ඕන මත තීරණ අරගෙන රට අගාධයකට කරලා දාලා රට ඝාතනය කරන්න ඕගලන්ට කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. ඒතර මේක සාධාරණද?
Strong opposition persists to the proposal to increase the electricity tariff, tax hike and the increase in bank loan interest rates. A protest took place opposite the Fort Railway Station, demanding to reduce the increased bank loan interest rates. Multiple trade unions, including the Ceylon Teachers Services Union, the Petroleum Workers Union and the Development Officers Service Union, were engaged in the protest.
We are not ready to pay for your sins. The bank interest rates should be reduced immediately. If not, we will not hesitate to enter into even more serious trade union actions along with the teachers, principals, the public service employees and pensioners of the country. When the ministers of this country are enjoying tax money stolen from the people, the loans taken under the minimum interest rates of 9.5% have been unfairly increased to 15 to 20% today. Please lower the increased bank interest rates immediately and give relief to the people of this country.
Signatures were collected for a petition opposite the National Savings Bank against the new tax policy. The petition was also signed by the employees of the State Mortgage and Investment Bank in order to hand it over to the Ministry of Finance. The petition that was recently signed by the academics of the Kelaniya University against the government's new tax policy was handed over to the Federation of University Teachers Associations. The group, including the lecturers, later protested along the Kandy-Colombo main road.
If the salaries that were increased in 2012 are being slashed in 2022 and 2023, then in comparison, the prices of goods have risen up to 3 to 4 times today. The cost of living has risen. They are not only slashing the salaries of the lecturers, they are destroying our only means of livelihood. The government should respond in writing before the 25th. If not, we will take action against this.
If this tax policy is brought in arbitrarily, if they try to implement it, we will not hesitate to take all the necessary measures against it together with all the professionals. In particular, it must be said that there was a time when the opinion of the educated people, the intellectuals, were not taken into consideration. But those rulers had to go home, and they were not even able to give their resignation letters while staying in the country.
The Ceylon Bank Employees Union signed a petition against the unfair tax policy in Kurunegala today. The Ceylon Bank Employees Union signed the petition in Colombo today as well.
More news will come your way after this short commercial break. Stay tuned with us.
Curiosity and a passion for current affairs and the people's interest. 7 years of professionals, diplomats, heads of state, wannabe politicians, and some real ones too. security forces personnel, members of parliament, and a host of others. Over 1,800 guests, over 900 hours. Newsline Live has represented the people's interest, living the News First ethos, 5 days a week, 8:30 to 9 p.m, asking the questions you need answers to.
වැදගත්ම දෙයක් තමයි ඒ ලැබෙන ආදරය සෙනෙහස
වංචාකරුවා පිට රටක ඉන්නේ නමුත් වංචාවට හසු වෙන්නේ මේ දේශීය ඉන්න පුද්ගලයා.
ඔන්ගෝයින් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් වලට දෙකමාරක සමාජ ආරක්ෂණ බද්දක් ගැහුවම. ඒකෝට දැන් අපි මේක මිල කරලා නැහැ.
විදලිත තොල සහ තල්ල සහිත දරුවෝ.
මේ ප්‍රතිකාර නිසියාකාරව සිද්ධ වුණොත් 100%ක්ම මේක හරියනවා.
අර නෝමල් මට්ටමට ගේන්න පුළුවන් ලෙවල් එකක් තියෙනවා.
Welcome back to the news. The Committee on Public Finance, chaired by Dr. Harsha De Silva, unanimously expressed its displeasure over the operations of the Colombo Port City Economic Commission, as its senior officials did not appear before the committee and had not provided with a proper notice of the absence under the due process.
Acting Director General Dr. Priyat Vikrama. Is he here?
He is not here, sir.
Why is he not here?
We have informed him.
You see, we were trying to find out who runs this thing. So we tried to look for a website for the Colombo Port City Economic Commission and we couldn't find one. Is it that people couldn't Google it, or you don't have a website?
When you Google Port City, you automatically go to the project website.
That's right.
We wanted to avoid confusion for anybody searching for Port City by drawing attention to the fact that there might be a commission website and a Port City website. So the commission website has been developed now, it's completed, and there is a brand transformation, trademark transformation.
Unacceptable. When did you start operating?
As a commission,
yes,
in June 2021.
Salia, come on. You worked in various senior positions before. Does it take 1.5 years to have an official presence online?
No, it does not. But there is a reason for that,
So the thing is, we don't know who runs this thing. I mean, surely, if you are trying to attract investors, the first thing, don't you think, Salia, is to have a functional and descriptive website? How can an operation run in this, universe without a website?
Across all walks of life, listening to the people, visiting door to door, witnessing the truth firsthand. This is the heart of the village. Gamada. For the people, by the people.
A community kitchen program based at the historic Hunupitiya Gangarama temple took place on Tuesday as well. The program was sponsored by the Capital Maharaja Group.
The community kitchen program was launched on the 1st of January, and under the first phase, 800 people belonging to 5 separate regions in Slave Island will be provided with free meals for a period of 14 days. The program is being implemented, targeting 2,300 people living in those areas, especially the malnourished children below the age of 5, expectant mothers, breastfeeding mothers, people suffering from non-communicable diseases, physically challenged individuals, and those earning a low income. Today's program was in memory of the late chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group, Mr. R. Raja Mahendran.
Another leg of the Sirasa Shakti Potyatra book donation campaign took place at the Sri Sudarshana Primary School in Hadigama, Piliyandala on Tuesday.
The Sirasa Shakti Potyatra book donation campaign was launched with the objective of highlighting the true sense of Christmas with the blessings of His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, Right Reverend Dushanta Rodrigo, the Bishop of the Church of Ceylon, and other religious leaders. From Christmas Day, the book donation campaign has been reaching out to school students across many parts of the country and distributed these items to them. Today's program was held at the Sri Sudarshana Primary School in Hadigama, Piliyandala. Group CEO of the Capital Maharaja Group, Sunil Kanodia, Executive Group Director Siobhan Daniel, among others, were present for this event.
Capital Maharaja Group is, as you know, is a very diversified group and has always remained in touch with the people. That even our news, we have steadfast remained with the people, taking the problems of the people, talking about the people. Country is definitely going through some difficulty. We cannot be spending our money and resources in celebrations, but more importantly, dedicating ourselves to building the future. And that future is you, is your life. If your future is good, the country will be strong. And we strongly believe in this. And therefore we are here with a small gesture which may ease out the life of the parents, but we will continue to make our efforts in terms of doing such efforts.
Sirasa Shakti Potyatra වැඩසටහන අද අපේ පාසලට ඇවිත් තියෙනවා අපේ දරුවන්ට පොත් ලබා දෙන්න. ඉතින් ඇත්තටම මම හිතන්නේ මේක මගේ පාසලේ දරුවන් මෙන්ම.
The Sirasa Shakti Pot Yatra book donation campaign has reached our school. This is something appreciated by the school and the parents. Today, this program has brought a smile on the faces of the children and relief to the parents. Purchasing books was a serious concern for parents.
පොත් ටික ලබා ගන්න කියලා. එවන් අවස්ථාවක මෙවන් වැඩසටහනක් සඳහා අප පාසලට පැමිණීමම මං හිතන්නේ මේ දෙමව්පියන්ගේ ඉතාම භාග්‍යයක්.
The Director of Education of the Piliyandala Educational Zone also participated in the event.
If we consider the economic situation we are in, the very fact that your institutions paid attention to this school is a noteworthy cause.
Paddy farmers from Ampara, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura and several other districts have expressed concerns over their crops turning yellow. What is the reason for this situation?
These are the paddy fields that belong to the Galloya settlement in Ampara. The crops on one section of paddy fields have turned yellow while the other remains green.
Agriculture officials said that this is due to fertilizer deficiency. Earlier they said that this was a disease. So we spent a lot on chemicals, but now they say it is because of the fertilizer deficiency.
This situation has not affected the paddy fields in the Ampara district alone. Rice fields in the Min area agri movement in Polonnaruwa have also been affected. This situation of crops turning yellow can be witnessed in the Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Ampara, Hambantota and Batiklo districts. What is the Agriculture Department saying about this? Director General of the Department of Agriculture, Parasuraman, speaking to Newsfirst, said that the nutrition imbalance was the cause for the situation. She said that necessary measures have been taken to prevent the spread and special training will be provided to the agriculture technical officers from the respective areas at the Rice Research and Development Institute in Batalegoda. The Director General of the Department of Agriculture also requested local farmers to immediately notify the closest agriculture project office if they observe any discoloration of their crop.
Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs has tweeted that Canada has imposed sanctions against 4 Sri Lankan state officials for gross and systematic violations of human rights during Sri Lanka's civil war. The tweet added that the sanctions send clear message that Canada will not accept continued impunity of those that have committed human rights violations in Sri Lanka. According to a news release issued by the Government of Canada, the names of the individuals added to the schedule of the regulations are former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Staff Sergeant Sunil Ratnayaka, Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi. And this brings us to an end of primetime news here on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I am Ruhas Irfan, and for these stories and much more, you can visit our website newsfirst.lk. Good night and take care.